ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂಥ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಮತ್ತು ತನಿಖೆ ತೀವ್ರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಲೆಟರನ್ನು ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದನ್ನು NIA ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
This comes after Dakshin Kannada has witnessed 3 back-to-back murders. Mangaluru police have also held a routine march to keep law and order in place in the region.
ಇಂಥ ಘಟನೆಗಳು ನಡೀಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮಾಜದ ನಾಗರಿಕರ ಅಪೇಕ್ಷೆ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಅಪೇಕ್ಷೆಯ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಭಾವನೆಯ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ತೀವ್ರವಾದಂಥ ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಭಾಳ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಯಾರೇ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲಿ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಆ ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರನ್ನೇನು ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಬೇಕು, ಎನ್ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎನ್ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೂ UPಗಿಂತ ಒಂದು 5 ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. UPಗಿಂತನೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾಡಲೇ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, UPಗಿಂತನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಒಂದು ಮುಂದುವರೆದ ರಾಜ್ಯ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ಪ್ರಗತಿಪರವಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮಾದರಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಜ್ಯ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇತರರಿಗೆ ಮಾದರಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದನ್ನೇನು ಅನುಸರಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
But the Congress continues to give a brazen spin to the Praveen murder. Karnataka Congress Leader of Opposition Siddaramaiah called it a sunk internal crisis. In a series of tweets, he went on to say, and I quote, "The recent killings seem to be linked to the Sangh Parivar." Speaking to Republic TV, the Health Minister of Karnataka, Dr. Keshava Sudhakar, hit out at Congress's Sangh spin.
He doesn't even know ABCD of Sangh. Sangh Karyakartas, or they give life to the service in the service of the nation.
As tension simmers in the coastal Karnataka, the government of the state also underscored the possibility of interstate link into the murder of Praveen.
Possible because from that village where Praveen stayed, it is only 14 or 15 kilometers to the border of the Kerala.
While coastal Karnataka awaits justice, questions remain as to why Congress is trying to give cover to PFI and SDPI. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And the breaking news here on Live and Breaking. A rain with thunderstorms and lightning in Mangaluru city. Holiday has been declared throughout Mangaluru considering the safety of children. And authorities say that when in this particular case, Deputy Commissioner of Dakshina Kannada, Rajendra KV, has stated this in view of heavy rains and severe waterlogging in many areas of Mangaluru after heavy rains and thunderstorm. And as you can see in those visuals, rains continue to lash Mangaluru, and there's heavy waterlogging reported along with traffic snarls. So incessant rains across Mangaluru has left many low-lying areas and other parts of the district waterlogged. Sagay Raj to tell us more. Sagay Raj, we believe that the situation as an impact of heavy rains, thunderstorm and lightning quite severe in Mangaluru. Which are the areas most affected? Also, what are the precautions that the authorities have announced?
The precautions which have been announced by the authorities are that have declared holiday for schools and colleges, keeping heavy rains in the night. And last night it was heavy thunderstorm, lightning in Mangaluru and adjoining districts including Shivamogga and other coastal regions. And what we also get to learn is many roads have been turned into lakes where many stormwater drain has broken and the water has come to the streets and the city. And people are quite furious that nothing has been done so far by the local administration to address these issues. And people are struggling to commute on the roads because almost all the roads in Mangaluru are flooded.
Well, almost all the roads in Mangaluru flooded. Sagay Raj, we're getting those visuals, heavy rains continuing. What does the Met Department's forecast say?
Like department predicted that there might be heavy rains as the day progresses, and of now the rain has stopped in many parts of Mangalore, and we are anticipating that water might recede in next few hours in the city, because many roads are completely inundated with rainwater.
Many thanks, Agiraj, for joining us there. So, Mangaluru waterlogged and flooded. Roads are turning into lakes, and locals extremely angry with the administration for not having taken any steps. Meanwhile, Met Department has forecast that rains will continue. Many thanks, Agiraj. Moving on to another story. We're getting a source-based breaking news that the Delhi government is very likely to go back to its old policy of retail liquor sales, with the Lieutenant Governor recommending a CBI probe into the implementation of the new excise policy. According to government officials, the Delhi government has decided to go back to the old regime of retail liquor sales in the city. So, breaking news coming in there, the Delhi government deciding to go back, very likely deciding to go back to its old liquor policy, to the old liquor policy that was in place as far as retail sales of liquor are concerned, after a huge controversy erupted. The BJP blasting the Aam Aadmi Party government for a liquor policy that has led to a lot of corruption. And Harsha, to tell us more on this, Harsha, we're hearing from various sources that the old liquor policy might very soon be back in place. What updates do you have? What details do you have? Can you confirm this?
Exactly. Since the new liquor policy, which was implemented in 2021 November, which got into a CBI probe because Lieutenant Governor B.K. Saxena ordered a CBI probe into the new liquor policy, which was introduced by Aam Aadmi Party government. But now, after extending the old liquor policy 2 times, which are extended after March 31, now the old liquor policy has again extended to 6 months till the fresh liquor policy comes into the implementation. So they are working on this new liquor policy, which is 2020, 2022, 2023, which they have sent to Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena for his approval. And in that new liquor policy, clearly the delivery of liquor at home is drafted. Since the time the fresh liquor policy wouldn't come into the implementation, the old liquor policy have gone into the extension of more than 6 months after being extended till July 31st. So this has come after CBI inquiry was ordered into the new liquor policy 2020-2021, in which it was clearly said that there will be 849 rents, and there will be no government rents, and private bidders were given the rents. And we also saw how in Delhi different protests was staged by BJP government and by Congress government as well regarding this new liquor policy. And clearly, after a CBI probe was ordered into this new liquor policy, this entire has come to that the old liquor policy will be extended for 6 months. Manish Sisodia has sent a draft to Lieutenant Governor B.K. Saxena on this matter. Yes, back to the studio.
Well, if we recap the main points of this controversy, there are just 2 days left for the current policy to expire. Harsha, if I'm correct. Also, well, the claims of having made profits, that is a point that has been lambasted, particularly by the BJP, which was up in arms over the Delhi government's the AAP government's liquor policy, saying that those are all false documents, that those were all false claims that were made by the Delhi government. There is no such profit. In fact, there has been seen a deterioration. Could this be that, the Delhi government now reviewing all these points and deciding to go back? Is there any reason that the public can get from the Delhi government as far as, the liquor policy is concerned, about where and why it has exactly decided to go back on it?
Exactly. If we talk about the new liquor policy, which was going to be implemented from November onwards, which went into so much of controversy, we saw how protests was staged, and it was being said that only private bidders have been profited through the new liquor policy. And we saw how 849 private vendors were given the bidding of the vents, and the places where even liquor shops have not been allowed, in those places also government has agreed to give the private bidders the vent. There were so much issues in the new liquor policy, clearly stating that all the protocols and rules and guidelines have been kept separated, and the only profit is being given to the sharab mafias, to the liquor mafias, and clearly this was the reason why Congress and clearly BJP staged a protest outside Manish Sisodia home. After so much of controversy in this new liquor policy, this was the main reason why the old liquor policy is extended. And let me tell you that earlier it was extended from March 31 to July 31st, and before that also once it was extended. After being extended the old liquor policy for 2 times, now again it has been extended to 6 months, clearly because this new liquor policy which Aam Aadmi government wanted to implement from November onwards got into so much of controversy, and even a CBI probe has been ordered into this. Therefore they have extended the old liquor policy, and till the time the rules, protocols and guidelines won't be discussed with don't be accepted by the Lieutenant Governor VK Saxena, till that time nothing new liquor policy will be implemented now by Delhi government, because in this new liquor policy it has also been said that a pink booth for female will be given. Now a liquor vents will be regulated by women as well in the name of pink booths. And not only this, there will be a delivery of liquor at houses also. Home delivery will also happen. There's so many things, and until this new liquor policy gets the approval of Lieutenant Governor VK Saxena, till that time it won't be implemented. So right now the old liquor policy date has been extended, and it will go till 6 months till the new liquor policy 2022-2023 comes in implementation. Yes.
Well, Harsha, stay with us. So we are talking about also an investigation by Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing into all the allegations that have been made. The BJP has said that it's a 144 crore rupees scam. The Aam Aadmi Party clearly on the back foot in this after that war of words, after those protests across the national capital that we saw just a few days ago.
Exactly. On one side, when we interviewed Sanjay Singh and when we tried to ask question to Manish Sisodia as well, during the press conference, they clearly said that Delhi has been benefited of more than 1300 crore from this liquor policy, and that money is being used for the welfare of the Delhi people. Like the facilities are being enhanced at various places, the education policy is being enhanced at various places. But let me tell you very clearly that Congress
Harsha,
and BJP are clearly
coming back to
stating.
you, but we have with us Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP. Well, going back to Harsha once again. Harsha, continue. You were telling us about what Sanjay Singh had to say on this matter. Sanjay Singh, known for his tweets and well, as a major spokesperson as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Going back again to BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla. Mr. Poonawalla, many thanks for speaking with Republic. Your reaction to the Delhi, to what we are hearing from various sources, and our reporter also tells us that the Delhi government very likely to go back to the old liquor policy. How does the BJP look at it?
This is an admission of guilt and corruption that the new excise policy, as had been alleged by the Bharatiya Janata Party yesterday and even before, the Honorable Minister Meenakshi Lekhi, is full of corruption and scams. There has been a huge corruption done in favor of the liquor mafia, and therefore Mr. Kejriwal has been forced to go back after the Chief Secretary's report, on the basis of which the LG has ordered a CBI probe. But this will not help the cause of those who are guilty of corruption, because they will, irrespective, face jail time and time in the prisons for the corruption they've done. But having said that, the old policy was criticized by Mr. Kejriwal as also being very corrupt. So you see, he has admitted one thing completely, that the new policy is even more corrupt than the old policy that he was claiming he wanted to change. Why is he going back to the old policy which he claims was corrupt? This shows that there is a huge ghotala, a huge scam that has taken place. And apart from that, may I also tell you, the court has taken cognizance of the charge sheet against Satyendra Jain and has affirmed that Satyendra Jain used hawala money to buy agricultural land. Before this, the court called Satyendra Jain as a man of criminal background. Before that, the court held that he had done hawala transactions. So there are two ministers, at least in the Arvind Kejriwal government, one who's handling liquor, one who's handling hawala, and both of these corrupt policies have been exposed by the courts or by the ongoing situation. And therefore, we demand from Mr. Kejriwal, will he now sack both Satyendra Jain and the minister in charge of excise, that is Manish Sisodia, without delay. This going back to the old policy is a proof in itself that the new policy has been completely compromised. It was brought in only to collect money for Punjab elections. And now if you see in Punjab, they are giving a free run to the entire liquor mafia. So you brought a policy, you gave the big benefit to the liquor mafia, and now you're withdrawing that policy because you are caught stealing and doing corruption exposed by the BJP. Mr. Kejriwal must immediately tell us what is the stand he will take on these corrupt ministers who have been completely exposed.
Well, many thanks, Mr. Poonawalla, for speaking with us and for putting forward that point of view. Well, the BJP says it's an admission of guilt and corruption on the part of the Aam Aadmi Party. This is with regard to sources telling us and our reporter confirming, in fact, that the Delhi government is to go back to its old liquor policy after massive protests in the national capital on the part of the BJP. So going back once again to our reporter Harsha, we were just speaking with the BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla. He says this is an admission of guilt on the part of the Aam Aadmi Party, on the part of the Kejriwal government in Delhi. The BJP will clearly be looking at it as a major victory.
Exactly, Nupur. Therefore, BJP has been taking up this issue since long. And let me mention one thing, that BJP has been saying for long that why to involve private bidders from other states when they have liquor tycoons in Delhi as well. And 144 crore profit has been given to many liquor mafias who are not even from this state, from different states as well. So this is the issue which BJP is taking up and not even taking it lightly. They are taking it highly and heavily by different BJP leaders of Delhi, and they have protest marched at different days outside the house of Manish Sisodia. So clearly to BJP it sees as a guilt, until the time CBI investigation won't be finished, Nupur, till the time the old excise policy by Aam Aadmi Party government will continue, till the time fresh excise policy will be implemented and will get the approval of Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena. Nupur, back to the studio.
Well, many thanks, Harsha. This is Rukmaya. Many thanks for joining us there with those inputs. And moving on to other news stories now. A day after sparking a controversy in Parliament with his Rashtrapatni reference to the President of India, Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary wrote an apology to Draupadi Murmu on Friday. Chaudhary mentioned in the letter that he had mistakenly used an incorrect word to describe the post she held. Here's a detailed report.
First, he insulted the Honorable President. Then, he stuck to defiance. And following a massive outrage, he issued the sham apology. This is what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary termed his brazen act, a slip of tongue. While the nation celebrates the appointment of India's first tribal president, the Congress MP insulted Draupadi Murmu with his sexist reference of Rashtrapatni. And even after being at the epicenter of the national outrage, Chaudhary shied away from issuing a public apology to the president. But as pressure mounted on him, he gave in his apology. However, his defiance stays. The leader, even in his written apology, again mentioned the sexist Rashtrapatni remark as a slip of tongue.
ये बात भारत की राष्ट्रपति की है, मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी, जहां से लोकतंत्र की शुरुआत हुई और भारत के राष्ट्रपति के प्रति अगर कोई हल्की टिप्पणी करता है, अपमान करता है, तो उसको तो बगैर सोचे माफी मांगनी चाहिए। आखिरकार कांग्रेस के नेता संकोच क्यों कर रहे हैं माफी मांगने पर?
राष्ट्रपति का तो अपमान है ही है, लेकिन माननीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का, एक आदिवासी लेडी का बहुत बड़ा अपमान करने का काम उन्होंने किया है और अधीर का दिमाग बबदीर हो गया है। इसीलिए मतलब अधीर इसी तरह की बयानबाजी का कर रहा है। उन्होंने मतलब माफी मांगनी चाहिए।
And now, even Sonia Gandhi is surrounded with questions.
ये कोई स्लिप ऑफ टंग का मामला नहीं है। वो जानबूझ करके ऐसे शब्द का प्रयोग कर रहे हैं जिससे राष्ट्रपति जी का अपमान हो। जब से ही आदरणीय श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का नाम राष्ट्रपति उम्मीदवार के नाते चला, तब से लेकर के कांग्रेस के लोगों ने कुछ हल्की टिप्पणियां की थी। उसी श्रृंखला में ये टिप्पणी है उनकी। अभी सोनिया गांधी ने क्या नियुक्त नहीं किया इनको लोकसभा में लीडर बनाने के लिए, तो रिस्पॉन्सिबल तो सोनिया गांधी जी है इसके लिए।
तो आपकी पार्टी का अभी भी वही स्टैंड है कि
सोनिया गांधी ही माफी मांगे, यही हमारा स्टैंड है।
The apology made it clear. The Congress leader is unaware that his mere slip of tongue has deeply hurt the nation's sentiment. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And in other national news, in a fresh trouble for sacked TMC Minister Partha Chatterjee, sources have now informed that Partha's aides Manik Bhattacharya and Sukanto Acharya have been summoned and will be interrogated in the Bengal cash scam. Following mega cash hauls and back-to-back summons, the TMC has now swung into a huddle mode. Reports suggest Abhishek Banerjee is set to hold a number of meetings to decide the future course of action for the party. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the first ever inaugural session of the first national meet of district legal services authorities at Vigyan Bhavan today at around 10 a.m. Union Home Minister Amit Shah scheduled to address the National Conference on Drug Trafficking and National Security in Chandigarh today. Chief Ministers of Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, officers from the Border Security Force, National Investigation Agency and Narcotics Control Bureau, as well as Anti-Narcotics Task Force chiefs of respective states and members of Narco Coordination Center will also be present at the conference. More than 30,000 kgs of narcotics to be incinerated in 4 locations across the country in virtual presence of Union Home Minister Amit Shah. According to an official release, during the conference, more than 30,000 kgs of drugs will be burnt and disposed of by the Narcotics Control Bureau teams in Delhi, Chennai, Guwahati and Kolkata in front of the Home Minister. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde will be visiting the state for the first time after assuming the post of Chief Minister. Shinde will take stock of Marathwada and parts of Western Maharashtra. During the visit, the Chief Minister will also meet several local leaders to discuss local level issues in Aurangabad, Silod, Yewala, Vijaypur, Pune areas and also review problems and development work in each district with the collector. In a big order by the Kerala High Court, it has been observed that transgender persons must be permitted to participate in categories of their choice in the absence of a separate category for them to compete in sporting events.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the first ever inaugural of the first national meet of District Legal Service Authorities at Vigyan Bhavan at 10 a.m. You are watching Republic TV. Stay tuned for more live and updates.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the camera? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
Me and my Vijay are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos, fact, massive security thrown around. Big push, diplomatic visit, which is going to be, of course, capped by the Quad leaders meets. Uddhav surrounded himself with unelectable coterie. You expect these people to dictate terms to a grassroots strong leader like Eknath Shinde?
Coverage on Republic TV as we report from outside Raj Thakre's residence. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers showing their support to Uddhav Thakre. The NCP huddle has begun. We're keeping a close track on all the senior leaders coming in and going out.
It's 9:30 a.m. Here are the headlines. ED continues grilling of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, and Abhishek Banerjee to decide the future course of action. Gujarat court to pronounce order on Teesta Setalwar and Sri Kumar bail pleas. Karnataka government hands over the investigation of the BJP Yuva Morcha member Praveen Nettaru's murder to the NIA. To maintain law and order, Dakshina Kannada police calls for peace meeting at the Deputy Commissioner's office. As a part of the Pravas program, BJP is set to hold a mega rally in Patna itself today. Hello and welcome viewers. Thank you for tuning into Republic TV. I am Priyanka Sharma. We are live in breaking and getting you first up the breaking developments from Punjab, where we had seen this entire embarrassing video for the Punjab health minister who had insulted the doctor, a very well-known and a renowned doctor for that matter. And now we are learning that after the humiliation faced by the Punjab health minister, now the Baba Farid University VC, Dr. Raj Bahadur, has reportedly resigned from the post. You can see the video, viewers, of that altercation between the minister and the doctor, where the minister is very clearly seen in that video who's asking the doctor to lie down on a dirty bed, an unclean bed of a patient from inside of the hospital itself. And in fact, the details of this we're also learning is that he had been reprimanding the doctor for not having clean mattresses for the patients to have their proper treatment is what we are learning. But as of now, a humiliating incident where the Punjab health minister, along with several of the officials who had been present there, and also other staff of the hospital had also been present there. And in the middle of that, we are seeing that the Punjab health minister had asked the Baba Farid University VC to actually lie down on that dirty bed. And Amandeep, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast with more details. Amandeep, we spoke about this just a while back, and we had been talking about how this was an embarrassing situation for the health minister, and now also humiliating incident where the minister is asking the doctor to lie down on the bed. What had really happened? Has anybody taken cognizance of this entire matter?
So far, Priyanka, so far from the side of the government, nobody has spoken about it. And in fact, this was yesterday's incident when new health minister of Aam Aadmi Party, Chetan Singh Jora Majra, in a routine checking at Baba Fareed Health University in Fareedkot. And in fact, during the checking, he called up the VC on the spot and he checked the patient bed. And following the complaint that he has received from the staff and the patients, he has asked him to lie down on the bed. And it was a forcible action. It was clearly visible in the video that Chetan Singh Jora Majra, Health Minister of Punjab, forcing Vice Chancellor Dr. Raj Bahadur of Baba Fareed University, forcing him to lie down on a bed and then ask him to check that either the mattresses were clean, either this bed is in the position for the patients, is this bed is delivering justice and clean and clear for the patients. And in fact, later he was showing the mattresses of that bed, patient's bed, and in fact later he asked the administration and the employees of that university to show the godown where the stock has been where the new stock has been procured. But in that entire incident, a Dr. Raj Bahadur, who has been serving as a VC of that university, and earlier he has served on almost 40 prestigious posts, he has been humiliated to the extreme that Dr. Raj Bahadur resigned from the post of the Vice Chancellors. This is the big embarrassment for the Aam Aadmi Party, either procuring and either concerning the assets of the state. Dr. Raj Bahadur is an asset of the state, who is a spine expert, and in fact he knows how to handle the university, he knows how to handle the patients as well. He was on the post where he has served for the several years. He has retired as a director of the PGI MER Chandigarh. He was badly humiliated and later he files his resignation following this incident. And in fact, Priyanka, this entire incident was recorded in a video, in a mobile phone, the entire incident, and in fact that turned to be the most humiliating point for the VC Dr. Raj Bahadur. And in fact, when that video put on the several platforms, and in fact finally Dr. Raj Bahadur resigned from his post as a Vice Chancellor of Baba Fareed Health and Science University. And in fact now no comments from the side of the government that either they are trying to reinstate the Dr. Raj Bahadur, either they are going to accept the resignation of Dr. Raj Bahadur, or they will appoint some new VC for that university. Just because it was a routine checking, since Chetan Singh Jora Majra has been appointed as a Punjab Health Minister, he has been inspecting certain government hospitals, colleges, medical colleges and universities randomly, and it was a random checking. But all of a sudden, the body language, the tone of the communication, and even the act of forcibly asking him to lie down on a bed to a VC who has been served on a 40 prestigious post, and in fact that turned to be the humiliation point. And result is that Dr. Raj Bahadur has resigned from the post of the Vice Chancellor of Baba Fareed University. Yes, Priyanka.
Well, Amandeep, have you been able to also speak to any of the people who had been present there? Because in that visual, it's very obvious that there are some people with the minister and there are also other hospital staff that has been present there. We can see that the minister is being extremely aggressive with the doctor, forcing him to lie down on that dirty bed. But anything that the hospital staff has also said, because now the doctor has resigned?
Priyanka, since this video came out, every person who was present and who was witness to this entire incident remained mum. They all turned to be the mute spectator, and in fact we were repeatedly trying to approach Dr. Raj Bahadur as well as Minister Chetan Singh Jora Majra, but nobody is responding to the calls, just because now this incident turned to be the biggest controversy of the Punjab as well. And on the other side, Congress is repeatedly questioning the act of Aam Aadmi Party ministers and their behavior behavior with such kind of persons who has served in a responsible post for the years. And in fact, now this turned to be the biggest controversy, and the Aam Aadmi Party remains silent on this issue, and even Dr. Raj Bahadur is not willing to speak on this, just because we are trying his phone since morning, but he was not responding the call, neither he was replying on the messages. And even we tried to approach the people that you are pointing out, that who were present and who were the witness of this entire incident. They all remain not approachable. All remain not approachable. Everything has turned into the silent mode. Yesterday, the incident was loud and clear that how a vice chancellor of a university has been humiliated by a minister in a public view, and in fact now nobody is willing to speak on this issue.
Right,
and
Amandeep.
video itself is enough evidence to speak everything. Yes, Priyanka.
Well, Amandeep, stay on with us, because we're also getting some more breaking inputs on this story. In fact, it seems as though it is blowing up. I'm reading out from another tweet that has been sent out from Amrinder Singh Rajwa, where in fact he said that the theatrics of the Aam Aadmi Party of Punjab, in fact, are costing heavily to the Aam Aadmi Party, and the Principal Government Medical College Amritsar, Dr. Rajiv Devgan, and now the VC Baba Farid University, Dr. Raj Bahadur, have also resigned. Now, these are the very people who saved Punjab during COVID, even when Delhi model had failed, and he's called it entirely disheartening. Now, Amandeep, this is something that we had been speaking about, and he has also mentioned another such incident of the Principal Government Medical College of Amritsar, where Dr. Rajiv Devgan, in fact, had also faced a similar situation. Speak to us a little bit about that as well. And now he is saying that these are the theatrics of the Aam Aadmi Party that have cost the Punjab government dearly.
Well, absolutely. This happened. Actually, the incident that was mentioned by Amrinder Singh Rajwa, wedding president of Punjab Congress, that happened in Amritsar. Amritsar Medical College, Dr. Devgan has faced a similar situation, and later on he resigned from his position. And in fact, these incidents, Priyanka, are the open invitation to the opposition party to criticize the working style of the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab. And in fact, one after another, their doctors and the bureaucrats are leaving their post. AG Anmol Ratan Sidhu has resigned from his position, and currently DGP VK Bhavra has gone on the leave, and officiating DGP Gaurav Yadav has been appointed. Chief Secretary has been changed, and now the doctors have started resigning, and the vice chancellors have started resigning. This all is a questionable working style of Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. What they wanted to prove, either they wanted to sustain the bureaucracy and the assets of Punjab, or they just wanted to wash away everything.
Right, absolutely,
just because
Amandeep. You're breaking down some very important details. Amandeep, you're breaking down some very important details of this very massive developing story that we're tracking across. A lot of political voices also weighing in on this controversy and condemning the actions of the Aam Aadmi Party minister. Thank you, Amandeep, for joining us on the broadcast. Up next, viewers, we're cutting across to some breaking updates that we're picking up now with respect to how there were two terrorists trapped in Waningam Baramulla. In fact, encounter has started at Waningam Bala, which is area of a Baramulla district. Now, police and security forces are on the job, is what we're learning, and we are expecting that further details they will be sent out by the Jammu and Kashmir police as well. Now, this is a statement sent in by the authorities itself. And we are picking up more details on this encounter that has been carried out, where we are also learning that one terrorist has been gunned down, and the search as well is going on, and we are expecting further details to come out as well. Our correspondent Arawat also joins us on the broadcast. Arawat, tell us more about this encounter that is now being talked about by the authorities, and now they're saying that the search operations are also being conducted. Those are being carried out. But tell us more about this encounter and the particular terrorist that has also been gunned down in this.
Yeah, exactly. It was a joint operation that was carried out by 29 Rashtra Rifles and Baramulla police, and this is a big win for the security forces as one terrorist has been killed in this encounter. The search operation is still underway, and the search is underway for the second militant. There are reports that the one more militant believed to be trapped in the same house, and the complete area has been cordoned off by the security force. All the entry and exit points are also completely sealed. Right.
Well, that being said, Arawat, in fact, we are being told that the search operation is also being conducted right now. Speak to us a little bit about that as well, because authorities are on the ground making sure that there are no other culprits on the ground as well carrying out these anti-India activities.
Yeah, exactly. If we will talk out, here is the SDM Patna also. He is present on the encounter side. He is taking the care of the law and order situation, and here are the different police agencies. You can hear once again the firing has been started right now. The contact with the second hiding militant has been once again established. You can hear it on the TV screen right now. The firing once again started at the same location. The area is cordoned off by the SOG Baramulla and 29 Rashtra Rifles, and the encounter is at the final stage. It will take hardly 1 to 2 more hours to conclude the operation. Yeah.
All right, Arawat there getting us all the updates of this Baramulla encounter as well, viewers, that we are tracking, where we're learning that one terrorist as of now has been killed, and we're also learning that the authorities are on the ground carrying out the search operations to make sure that there are no other people with this particular terrorist as well who had been trying to carry out anti-India activities on the ground. And we are awaiting further details. And we are picking up further details of this Baramulla encounter, viewers, that is now blowing up. Now we are also learning that this entire operation that was being carried out, in which one terrorist has been killed, he has been gunned down, is what we are learning. And we are also learning that further search operations are being carried out. And my colleague Zeenat now joins us on the broadcast. Zeenat, tell us more about this encounter that was being carried out by the authorities, and now one terrorist, we're learning, has already been gunned down in this.
See, Priyanka, we need to understand this is an ongoing operation, although one terrorist body has been recovered, but we are also picking up that the 2 army personnel and the J&K police corps has received an injury, and also a dog squad of army has received critical injuries in an ongoing encounter. There had been about the 2 terrorists trapped in the area. This encounter started somewhere around 4 in the morning, and since then the firefight was on. Now the J&K police, whose int was about the presence of terrorists, they were along with, now the operation was launched with the army, and as of now that yes, one terrorist, the dead body has been recovered with arms and emanations, but the second terrorist is still holed up. That is what we are picking up from the sources. This is an operation that is going on in the Wanigam Bala. This is an area where the operation is on in Baramulla of North Kashmir. The operation is a joint operation of J&K police along with the Indian Army. As of now, one terrorist have been neutralized. Plus, as far as the injuries are concerned, we are picking up 2 army personnel, 1 JKP corp, and the dog squad of army has been injured in this ongoing operation. Operation in the Baramulla district of North Kashmir. We are seeing this operation almost after 1 month's time, because last time when the operation was carried in the Baramulla district, that time also the Pakistani terrorists, the foreign terrorists of the LET were neutralized that time, and J&K police had to suffer a casualty of his boys. So we are seeing we are trying to the best to see that this time there is no casualty of coming from the forces. So that is why we are seeing the steps being taken. They are monitoring the situation, but yes, dead body of one terrorist have been recovered from the encounter spot, and as of now the encounter is on.
Well, absolutely, Zeenat. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast and breaking down those details of this ongoing encounter by our security personnel. And taking a short break here now, viewers, and bringing you details of this ongoing operation of encounter, in fact, in Baramulla, in which one terrorist has been gunned down.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Package or envelopes with the department's insignia. What exactly was such kind of a documentation, such kind of money that was due with Orpita Mukherjee?
It's 15 crores and 3 kg gold vase, viewers, from the same Arpita, the close aide of the TMC minister.
The enforcement directorate says that most of these properties have been bought from the proceeds of crime. They suspect that this was the money that was basically being round-tripped money was actually taken. In lieu of that, posts were actually given, looting the public money first of all, and secondly selling off government jobs.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news. He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the cameras? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
Me and my Vijay are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos. In fact, massive security thrown around. Big push diplomatic visit, which is going.
Now viewers, we're getting you some more breaking updates as far as the entire controversy of Lulu Mall is concerned, where the accused has now been granted bail by court is what we are learning. We are awaiting further details on the same. Now remember, we had seen how the entire controversy of the Lucknow Lulu Mall in fact had broken out, and now we are seeing that one of the accused has been granted bail by the court. And we are in fact getting you all the updates. We're getting you all the updates as far as the Lulu Mall controversy is concerned. Our correspondent Vivek Rai, in fact, is also joining us on the broadcast. Vivek, tell us more about this accused that has now been granted bail by court. Walk us through the details of this entire controversy and now this accused that has been granted bail.
देखिए, आपको बताऊं कि जिस तरीके से लुलु मॉल का जो विवाद हुआ था, उसमें लुलु मॉल प्रशासन की तरफ से एफआईआर दर्ज कराई गई थी और उसके बाद पुलिस ने इन लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया था, जिसमें कल कोर्ट से इन सभी लोगों की जमानत हो गई, जिसमें मोहम्मद आदिल, मोहम्मद सईद, मोहम्मद इरफान, मोहम्मद आतिफ और मोहम्मद रेहान, मोहम्मद लकमान, ये तमाम वो लोग हैं जिनको हुई थी। इन सभी लोगों को जमानत मिल गई। हालांकि कोर्ट ने इन सभी को सशर्त जमानत दी है। इनको 20,000 रुपये का मुचलका दाखिल करना पड़ा है और इसके साथ ही साथ कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा है कि आप लोग कभी भी अगर कोर्ट द्वारा या पुलिस द्वारा अगर आपको बुलाया जाता है तो आप वापस वहाँ पर आएंगे, अपनी जब भी बुलाया जाएगा तब आप वहाँ पाएंगे और इसके साथ ही साथ किसी भी तरीके से जो सबूत हैं उनसे छेड़छाड़ नहीं होगी और जो भी गवाह हैं इस पूरे प्रकरण कर उनको धमकाया नहीं जाएगा। तो ये 3 हैं, जिसके बाद लुलु मॉल प्रशासन, लुलु मॉल कई विवाद में जो लोग की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी उनकी कल जमानत हो गई है। कल जमानत के बाद कल देर शाम तक कल सभी को छोड़ दिया गया है और लेकिन इसमें जो 3 शर्तें हैं उसका सभी को पालन करना पड़ा है। 20,000 रुपये का मुचलका दाखिल करना पड़ा है और गवाहों को न धमकाने की बात करने के साथ साथ सबूतों से छेड़छाड़ करने की बात के लिए भी मना किया गया है और इसके साथ ये भी कहा गया है कि जब भी कोर्ट द्वारा उन्हें बुलाया जाएगा तो इन सभी को कोर्ट में प्रोड्यूस होना होगा।
All right, Vivek right there getting us all the updates as far as the Lulu Mall controversy is concerned. Now, viewers, one more accused, in fact, that has now been given the bail by the court. And taking a short break now here and getting you the updates on the other side of how the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the first ever inaugural session of the first national meet of District Legal Service Authorities at Vigyan Bhavan at 10 a.m. Stay tuned for that.
Heavy rainfalls are expected in Mumbai for the next 4 days. Lot of people over here with tricolors commemorating the victory of Draupadi Murmu.
This week, watch Checkmate to know why India is buying the latest arms and ammunitions. Why is India getting the latest defense technology from the world? Why is India arming itself at such a rapid rate? But I will tell you what I believe. I believe India has global ambitions. I believe India wants to be a global leader. When India says that it wants to become a Vishwaguru, it is not just talking about intellectual pursuit. It's not just talking about soft power. India is also talking about hard power.
Packets or envelopes with the department's insignia. What exactly was such kind of a documentation, such kind of money that was due with Orpita Mukherjee?
It's 15 crores and 3 kg gold vase, viewers, from the same Arpita, the close aide of the TMC minister.
The enforcement directorate says that most of these properties have been bought from the proceeds of crime. They suspect that this was the money that was basically being round-tripped money was actually taken. In lieu of that, posts were actually given, looting the public money first of all, and secondly selling off government jobs.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news. He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the cameras? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
Me and my Vijay are together. Absolute pandemonium.
Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती। इसको रोको यार, तुम हम पे रखते हो इधर से। ये क्या मतलब है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters. Welcome back, viewers. We're going to cross to some more breaking updates that we're picking up from Uttarakhand now, where Uttarakhand, in fact, now gets the new BJP state president, Mahendra Bhatt, who is now the new BJP chief, is what we're learning. A major reshuffle in the political hierarchy is what we are seeing right now in Uttarakhand, who has now gotten a new BJP state president, Mahendra Bhatt, as well. We'll be getting you all the details of the profile and how and why this change really has happened. Amandeep, my colleague, once again joins us on the broadcast. Amandeep, take us through the details as to what has really led to this kind of a reshuffling in the BJP, where a new BJP chief is what we are seeing in Uttarakhand. Well, Priyanka, now Mahendra Bhatt is the new BJP chief for the Uttarakhand, and in fact earlier Madan Kaushik was heading the BJP unit in Uttarakhand, but after taking stock of the situation from the entire BJP party in Uttarakhand, JP Nadda, national president of BJP, has taken this call and appointed Mahendra Bhatt as new BJP president of Uttarakhand. And now this is a big organizational structure after the elections in Uttarakhand, after BJP has been taken over as a government in Uttarakhand, but now Mahendra Bhatt will be taking the charge of BJP party, and even not only the president, the entire structure will be reshuffled in the Uttarakhand as well. Mahendra Bhatt will take his own team, and in fact president, district president, and even till the lower level, everything would be reshuffled. Earlier Madan Kaushik was the BJP chief, and in fact there were certain kind of speculations from the BJP unit in the Uttarakhand that he will be replaced very soon, just because certain kind of reports that has been given by the BJP unit from the Uttarakhand to JP Nadda regarding the reshuffling. And in fact Mahendra Bhatt has been selected by JP Nadda himself, and even he himself intervened into the entire situation and appointed new BJP chief for Uttarakhand, and that is Mahendra Bhatt. Yes, Priyanka.
Well, Amandeep, stay on with us. Harsha, our colleague, also joins us on the broadcast. Harsha, take us through the details. What has really gone on in the central BJP leadership, as Amandeep had been mentioning about JP Nadda as well. So what had really left to this kind of a change in Uttarakhand, where we're seeing Mahendra Bhatt as the new BJP chief in the state?
One thing is very clear, since the time election has happened, it was clearly been seen by the party ala command that who can be the better state president. And Madan Kaushik clearly is a MLA from Haridwar as well. But from a longer time, it has been that seeing the 2024 elections also, it was a clear demand from the internal workers from the party. A Brahman face should be the state president of Uttarakhand. And we have seen Mahendra Bhatt has been meeting JP Nadda since long. He was also here in Delhi. He met JP Nadda. And clearly after the meeting, he said that it was a Shishtachar. He came just to meet JP Nadda. There was nothing regarding his being as a state president, but today we are seeing a letter from the party which clearly says that now the new state president of Uttarakhand is Mahendra Bhatt. One is the caste politics, Brahman face. Clearly Mahendra Bhatt will be very useful in the upcoming Lok Sabha election, and in Garhwal and Kumaon Mandal. There was so much of clashes which was being seen in the internal party workers. Madan Kaushik since long was meeting JP Nadda in the party hala command, trying to save his position as a state party president. But when talked to Madan Kaushik, he clearly stated that right now he is a MLA also, and therefore if he won't sustain as a state president position, then also there's nothing harm party sees, and he will work for the welfare of the party. And now Mahendra Bhatt has been elected as the new state president of Uttarakhand BJP, clearly a new face, and he has been working as a party worker since long. He's a RSS member, and since long he has been working and his work as a leader and worker was clearly appreciated by party ala command. Back to the studio.
All right, Harsha and Amandeep there getting us all the details as far as this major reshuffle in Uttarakhand is concerned, where we're seeing that the BJP party, in fact, is going to get a new chief in the form of Mahendra Bhatt. And of course, we will see subsequent changes in the party hierarchy as well. For the moment, Harsha and Amandeep, thank you for joining us on the broadcast.
Well, there's a big development in Punjab's Hoshiarpur school bus accident, where one more person has been succumbed to injuries. And meanwhile, Republic has also accessed the CCTV footage of the entire incident. But watch this story after a short break. Stay tuned.
Looted money. They got complaints of the same by selling government jobs, and these are details that have been mentioned in the ED.
The enforcement directive says that most of these properties have been bought from the proceeds of crime. They suspect that this was the money that was basically being round-tripped. Money was actually taken. In lieu of that, posts were actually given. Appears to have been prima facie established from this recovery of this diary from Arpita Mukherjee's residence.
It's 15 crores and 3 kg gold bars, viewers, from the same Arpita, the close aide. of the TMC minister. Heavy rainfalls are expected in Mumbai for the next 4 days.
Lot of people over here with tricolors commemorating the victory of Draupadi Murmu.
This week, watch Checkmate to know why India is buying the latest arms and ammunitions. Why is India getting the latest defense technology from the world? Why is India arming itself at such a rapid rate? But I will tell you what I believe. I believe India has global ambitions. I believe India wants to be a global leader. When India says that it wants to become a Vishwaguru, it is not just talking about intellectual pursuit. It's not just talking about soft power. India is also talking about hard power.
Package or envelopes with the department's insignia. What exactly was such kind of a documentation, such kind of money that was doing with Orpita Mukherjee?
It's 15 crore.
The headlines in Live and Breaking at this hour amidst mega backlash. Officials say Kejriwal government likely to roll back liquor policy now. BJP hits out at AAP government over policy rollback decision, asks did CBI probe compel Kejriwal to go back on the policy? Punjab minister questions VC over untidy beds. Upset with insult, VC steps down. Mega crackdown on terror in the valley. One terrorist gunned down in Baramulla operation. One still trapped. More trouble for sacked TMC Minister Partho Chatterjee. Aides Manik and Sukanto summoned by ED now. Following mega cash hauls and back-to-back summons, TMC swings into a huddle. Abhishek Banerjee to chair key meetings of the party today. Hello and welcome. I'm Rukma. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic and getting you at the very beginning of the bulletin. Shocking CCTV footage of the Hoshiarpur school bus accident. The tragedy that yesterday claimed the life of a class 9 student. A class 9 student had died in this particular accident in Hoshiarpur in Punjab as a truck rammed into a school bus. And we're getting shocking and very tragic CCTV footage of the incident. So getting you on your screens right now, the latest details available in the Punjab Hoshiarpur school bus incident in which a school bus rammed into a truck and one student, a student of class 9, was killed in the tragedy. And these are the visuals of the bus ramming into a truck. An accident that led to the death of one student. Amandeep joining us with these details. Amandeep, we are seeing right now the visuals. Take us through what happened exactly. The CCTV visuals, they tell a chilling tale.
Well, absolutely, Rukma. The point is that now another development is that one more person has been died into this entire accident, and in fact he is the conductor of the bus. He succumbed to the injuries during the treatment, and even the entire incident has been captured in a CCTV where it was clearly visible that how school bus was stationed on a roadside, and in fact an overspeeding truck from the rear side rammed into the bus and lost his control, and in fact that bus further rolls down from the offside of the road and leading to death of one class 9 student, one conductor, and leaving 14 injured into this entire incident. And in this CCTV footage, it was clearly visible that truck driver was on the fault. He was completely on the fault just because first he was driving the truck in an overspeed, and in fact later on he has lost his control. He rammed the truck from the rear side into a stationed bus, and leading to this that a class 9 student has lost his life, and even a bus conductor has lost his life. And further, if we just notice the CCTV, further the bus was stationed at that position from where it was downhill. The road was on the downhill, and in fact later when the truck rammed from the rear side of the bus, and even bus has started moving towards the downhill, and even that then the bus has just came down off-road, and in fact went to off-road, and this is how this entire accident happened. And in fact now the police is also investigating the entire matter further. But first, they are very much concerned about the health and the treatment of the students who are still hospitalized, and in fact they are trying to console the family of the class 9 student who lost his life into this entire accident. And in fact this was the yesterday's morning when the school bus was ferrying school students to the school. They are picking the students from their homes and taking them to the school, and in fact when the bus was stationed on a roadside, they almost waiting for a student to get board on the bus, but all of a sudden a truck in an overspeeding position rammed from the rear side into the bus, and that leads to this accident. One class 9 student lost his life, one bus conductor succumbed to the injuries identified as Veer, and even certain students are still under the treatment just because they are sustaining the injuries. Yes, Rukma.
Right, so as far as we know, 2 lives have been lost in this ghastly incident, and those are the visuals there. An over-speeding truck ramming into a school bus, chilling CCTV footage. Amandeep, are there any details that the police, that we can expect from the police as to what actually happened? Was the driver in an inebriated state? Was he intoxicated? Did he just lose control? Was it a technical fault? And also, how many arrests or what kind of action is the police thinking of now?
Well, Rukma, immediately after the accident, police have registered an FIR against the unidentified person under section 304A, that is death due to negligence, and under section for the overspeeding as well. And in fact, now the police is trying to search the truck as well driver, so that the entire situation should be unfolded, that either the driver was not in position to drive, and how the overspeeding was being happened at that road, which is not capable to handle the overspeed of the vehicles. This is all a part of the investigation, and further the primary concern of the police is to console the families and for the treatment of the injured children, and later on they are also meanwhile investigating this entire matter and searching for the truck driver as well as for the truck. Yes, Rukma.
Well, many thanks, Amandeep, for joining us there and for giving us that update. Meanwhile, viewers, you can see there in that visual the chilling story of what happened yesterday in Hoshiarpur as a speeding truck rammed into a school bus, killing one student and another bus conductor. Well, investigations are continuing in that. Moving on now to other news stories. We are getting source-based breaking news that the Delhi government is to go back to the old policy of retail liquor sales, with the Lieutenant Governor recommending a CBI probe into the implementation of the new excise policy. According to government officials, the Delhi government has decided to go back to the old regime of retail liquor sales in the city. So after touting its new excise policy, of which Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi of the Aam Aadmi Party, Manish Sisodia, was in charge, after touting it as being extremely profitable and bringing in massive revenue that could be used for welfare, the Delhi government now deciding to go back on its to the old liquor policy. Varsha, Are there any updates? Are there any inputs coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party? Why has it decided to go back after, touting its new liquor policy as having brought in a lot of revenue, which can be used for the welfare? Now it's going back. Have they given any reason for this?
Exactly. One thing is for sure that now BJP MPs are clearly tweeting, BJP leaders again and again are tweeting, be it Shehzad Poonawalla, be it Amit Malviya, all have said that after the CBI probe has been ordered in this matter of new excise policy, and since then Kejriwal government is clearly seeing that the violations will be seen, and the guidelines and protocols which they have kept aside in this new excise policy will come in will be seen in clear picture. And therefore, after the CBI probe has been ordered, now they have reverted this new excise policy, and they've extended the old liquor policy, which has to go till the extension of 6 months. And clearly, they are tweets from Amit Malviya and Shehzad Poonawalla as well, because Amit Malviya clearly says that after Satinder Jain, now it's the turn of Manish Sisodia, because he is the head of the excise department. And clearly, it is seen that in the new excise policy, 144 crore rupees has been benefit to liquor mafias. Clearly, and in that, the Delhi didn't had earned the profit of more than 1,300 crore, which Aam Aadmi Party government was stating. They have clearly benefited liquor mafia from different states, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka as well. The blacklisted private bidders were profited from this entire scam, and therefore, because of the guilt, they knew that these all things will come in clear picture. Therefore, after CBI probe has been ordered, they are now fair of the violations which they have ignored clearly, and therefore they have reverted, and now the old excise policy has again gone to the extension of 6 months. So this was the entire take of BJP. Now we are waiting for Congress take also, because we saw in Delhi, central Delhi, that outside the residence of Manish Sisodia and outside the party office of Aam Aadmi Party, how a huge protest was staged by BJP and by Congress Party against this new liquor policy of Aam Aadmi Party government. Back to the studio.
Right, Harsha. And as far as comments by Amit Malviya go, we are hearing about how he's tweeted about how if the new excise policy of Kejriwal is not a mega scam, why is his government rushing to revert to the old policy after a CBI inquiry was ordered? In other words, it is an admission of violations, corruption and loss to the exchequer. Well, as pointed out, so the BJP clearly, it seems to think, the BJP clearly of the opinion that its stand has been vindicated. The Aam Aadmi Party, well, it has to say something, but we are not really hearing anything from the Aam Aadmi Party. The BJP now saying it's a vindication of all the allegations that it had leveled against the Aam Aadmi Party's new excise policy. Harsha, if you can hear me.
Exactly. Clearly, the Amit Malviya tweet which you clearly stated, is it quite clear that after the CBI inquiry was ordered, and now Delhi government clearly feels that the violations they have ignored, now the violations will come in picture, and therefore this is coming in. This is very clear that they have ignored several things, guidance and protocols which come under the Delhi Excise Act, which clearly says that no vents can be given by the government to private vendors in a two zone. Like in a one zone, there cannot be two vents, and not only this, they have included this pink booth also for females, in which the females,
the liquor will be given to the home, it will be home delivery, and these all have been sent to Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena. And until and unless the Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena will not give the approval to the new excise policy 2022-23, till that time, no new policy will be implemented in the Delhi capital. So this is very clear that the old liquor policy has to go in implementation for more than 6 months. Now, old liquor policy, which clearly was a higher rate of so many liquor, it was clearly said that there were liquor in the new excise policy which were less in amount. Now the liquor will be expensive. Though Delhi government has been saying that to stop the illicit liquor, this new excise policy was implemented, but BJP was clearly saying that there were many violations which were done in this.
And well, Harsha, we'll be coming back to you, but right now we have senior BJP leader Manjinder Singh Sirsa on the phone line. Mr. Sirsa, the Delhi government, we're hearing, is to roll back and go back to the old liquor policy, to the old excise policy. What do you think is the reason for this?
Because they are exposed. Aam Aadmi Party is badly exposed. After the inquiry started by the CBI, the investigation started by the CBI, those people who belong to the coterie of Arvind Kejriwal and were doing a business of liquor in Delhi with the help of Arvind Kejriwal, who has tailor-made that policy to give them undue benefits, are now sure that they will be soon behind the bar. They have backed out from this policy and they do not want to continue. And this is the big win for the citizens of Delhi. It's a big win for the people who have voted for Aam Aadmi Party, but they cheated them by giving a business to by giving a liquor business to those people who are close to Arvind Kejriwal. And this policy, as I already said, it is question time and again, it was a tailor-made policy to help few of them. मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर साहब का, and I must also thank the Honorable Home Minister of India, जिनकी कारण दिल्ली के लोगों की बहुत बड़ी जीत हुई है और अरविंद केजरीवाल की हार हुई है, अरविंद केजरीवाल की बेईमानी की हार हुई है, अरविंद केजरीवाल एक्सपोज हुए हैं और आज ये भी उन्होंने मान लिया इनडायरेक्ट तरीके से कि जो पॉलिसी वो लेके आए थे वो गलत थी, वो दिल्ली के हित में नहीं बल्कि उनके दोस्त जो बड़े बड़े लोग थे पूंजीपति उनके हित में थी।
Many thanks, Mr. Sirsa, for sharing your thoughts with us. So the BJP, ever since sources and the news spread, sources informed and the news spread that the Delhi government would be going back to the old liquor policy, has been saying that it's an admission of guilt and corruption on the part of the Aam Aadmi Party government. As far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, we are not hearing anything, but there's likely to be an address by the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia at 11 a.m. today. All eyes on that press briefing that he will be holding, because he is one of the persons at the center of this entire scandal. The BJP, meanwhile, seeing it as a vindication of its stand, an admission of guilt, an admission of corruption on the part of the Aam Aadmi Party. And joining us now is BJP Chief of Delhi, Adesh Gupta. Mr. Gupta, many thanks for speaking with Republic TV. Your reactions, आपकी प्रतिक्रिया to the rollback of the new excise policy.
धन्यवाद रुकमा जी। देखिए, दिल्ली में जो नई एक्साइज पॉलिसी थी, जिस दिन से इन्होंने ड्राफ्ट किया था उसी दिन से बीजेपी इसका विरोध करती थी और जिस तरह से उन्होंने एक्साइज पॉलिसी में हजारों करोड़ों रुपए का करप्शन किया है और जिसकी सीबीआई जांच के आदेश भी हुए हैं, ये दिल्ली की जनता की जीत है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भ्रष्ट अरविंद केजरीवाल सरकार के खिलाफ जो आंदोलन किया वो रंग लाया है और जो शराब माफिया के साथ, लिक्कर माफिया के साथ मिलकर अरविंद केजरीवाल ने बहुत बड़ा घोटाला किया था वो सामने आएगा। और ये जिस तरह से गली मोहल्ले में हर कॉलोनी के अंदर ठेके खोलकर लोगों को शराब पिलाना चाहते थे, ज्यादा लोग एक बोतल पर एक बोतल फ्री की स्कीम दे रहे थे, ये बहुत बड़ा स्कैम था। पॉलिसी गलत थी, ये दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए भी गलत थी। दिल्ली की कई सोसाइटी के लोगों ने, महिलाओं ने इसका विरोध किया था, लेकिन उस समय मनीष सिसोदिया और इनके जितने अरविंद केजरीवाल समेत सभी लोग ये कह रहे थे इससे रेवेन्यू का फायदा होगा। इससे कोई रेवेन्यू का फायदा नहीं हुआ, इससे सिर्फ और सिर्फ दिल्ली के लोगों का नुकसान हुआ। दिल्ली में कई ऐसी कॉलोनी जहां आज तक आजादी के बाद कभी शराब के ठेके नहीं खोले गए, सिर्फ इसलिए कि लोग ज्यादा ना पिए, ज्यादा ना उस ओर बढ़े। लेकिन केजरीवाल ने दिल्ली की जनता की ओर नहीं देखा और उन्होंने ऐसी पॉलिसी बनाई जो दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए विनाशकारी साबित हुई है। ये पॉलिसी उन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार जो किया था, पॉलिसी वापस ली है। ये दिल्ली के अंदर पब्लिक की, जनता की बहुत बड़ी जीत है। मैं समझता हूं कि इसमें इन्होंने जो भ्रष्टाचार, करप्शन किया हुआ वो सामने आएगा और वो सारा दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी सामने आएगा और इसमें करप्शन जो कल तक कह रहे थे कि ये बहुत नीट एंड क्लीन है, वो सारी चीजें सामने आ जाएंगी।
Mr. Gupta, well, the BJP clearly seeing it as a victory, saying that it's a victory of the citizens of Delhi. When we talk about the various demands that the protesters had made, one of them was the resignation of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. To what level is the BJP likely to take this movement, this protest forward? Now that they've rolled back the excise policy, will you stop at that or go further?
देखिए, अगर जो लोग ये पॉलिसी लाए थे, मनीष सिसोदिया उस कमेटी के जो चेयरमैन थे, जो ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स की कमेटी थी, उसको चेयर करने वाले मनीष सिसोदिया थे। उसमें सत्येंद्र जैन भी थे जो जेल में है आजकल, उसमें कैलाश गहलोत भी थे। मैं आज अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से पूछना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने पहले एक कमेटी बनाई और उस कमेटी की जो रिपोर्ट थी, ये जो एक्साइज पॉलिसी को लाने वाली कमेटी थी, उसकी कमेटी को रिपोर्ट को अप्रूवल देने वाले मनीष सिसोदिया थे। तो मनीष सिसोदिया को तो इस्तीफा उनको बर्खास्त करना ही चाहिए, लेकिन सत्येंद्र जैन भी जो उसमें मेंबर थे और जो जेल में है, वो भी अरविंद केजरीवाल बर्खास्त नहीं किया। इसका सीधा अर्थ है कि वो करप्शन करने वालों को शेल्टर दे रहे हैं। और जिस तरह से अभी सीबीआई जांच हुई है, जिस तरह से और भी जो केसेस इनके निकल रहे हैं करप्शन के, तो उनसे साफ जाहिर हो जाएगा, आगे चल के क्लियर हो जाएगा कि इनकी सरकार करप्शन में, करोड़ों रुपए के करप्शन में इन्वॉल्व थी। और ये लोग उसमें जब निकल कर आएंगे दोषी, तो सामने सबके आ जाएगा। मैं कहता हूं कि केजरीवाल जी को आखिर कौन सा ऐसा दबाव था लिक्कर माफिया का कि वो लिक्कर माफिया को लगातार सपोर्ट कर रहे थे। पहले उन्होंने ड्राई डे की संख्या कम की, 21 से घटाकर 3 की। उनका कमीशन 2.5% से बढ़ा के 12.5% किया। और उनका जो अर्नेस्ट मनी भी फोरफिट होनी चाहिए, उसको वापस कर दिया। 144 करोड़ कैबिनेट अप्रूवल के बिना उन्होंने माफ कर दिया। तो ये सारी चीजें ये दिखा रही कि वो शराब माफिया के इतने दबाव में थे। इसका सीधा अर्थ उन्होंने अंडर द टेबल पार्टी के लिए पैसा लिया था, जिसको पंजाब चुनाव में उन्होंने खर्चा किया है अनाप शनाप तरीके से। ये बिल्कुल, और जब सीबीआई जांच होगी तो सारे ये तथ्य सामने आएंगे। तो मनीष सिसोदिया इसमें सबसे बड़े इसके जो, अगर हम कहें तो मनीष सिसोदिया ने ही इस पॉलिसी को अप्रूवल दिया था, उनको तो बर्खास्त करना ही चाहिए।
Well, many thanks, Mr. Gupta, for speaking with Republic. That was Mr. Adesh Gupta, Delhi BJP chief, speaking about the news coming in that the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi could go back to the old excise policy after we'd seen protests erupting around it and a huge uproar in the national capital over it. And moving on to news from Mangaluru. A major development in the murder case in Mangaluru. 21 suspects have been detained for questioning by police in Mangaluru in connection with the murder of Fazil, a murder that took place almost immediately after Praveen Netturu was murdered. 21 suspects have been detained. We're trying to get in touch with our reporter to find out more details about this. The police investigations, as our viewers are aware, underway into all 3 murder cases which took place in such quick succession in Mangaluru in Karnataka. 21 people now detained in connection with these murders. That's a breaking development coming in there. Police investigating the issue. Fazil was murdered after the brutal murder of Praveen Netturu. And 21 suspects we hear have been detained in the case. Already the Karnataka government had handed over the case to the National Investigation Agency. And we'll be getting you all the updates on that as the day goes on and as details are available. Moving on now to other top stories. Ranchi's Birsa Munda Airport receives threat to blow up the airport on the 29th of July via text message with a demand of 20 lakh rupees. Following the threat, airport officials have informed that police are taking necessary action and an investigation has been launched into the case. Amidst a mega backlash against the Kejriwal government's liquor policy, officials have now informed that Delhi government is mulling rolling it back. This comes after Lieutenant Governor recommended a CBI probe into the implementation of the new excise policy. Hitting out at Kejriwal government over the decision to roll back the liquor policy, BJP IT cell head Amit Malviya asks if the new excise policy of Kejriwal is not a mega scam, why is his government rushing to revert to the old policy after a CBI inquiry was ordered? In other words, it is an admission of violations, the BJP says. Corruption and loss to exchequer as pointed out. A Lucknow court grants bail to the accused who offered namaz at Lulu Mall with several bail conditions and a bond of 20,000 rupees. The court has further ordered the accused not to tamper with evidence or threaten witnesses, and all are to appear in court when asked to.
All of you are well aware, recently we passed Family Courts Amendment Bill 2022 in the Lok Sabha. It will be tabled in the Rajya Sabha.
Reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
Police vans have also come in right now just to give the security to the BJP legislators right now as they are staying here for a while before the government formation actually takes place. About 17 locations where these searches are being carried out. In all likelihood, the number is going to go up. There could be some arrests. Total of 8 CCTV footages that have been accessed. This encapsulates Kole's murder that has taken place. On the live coverage on Republic TV as we report from outside Raj Thakre's residence. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers showing their support to Uddhav Thakre. The NCP huddle has begun. We're keeping a close track on all the senior leaders coming in and going out.
Looted money. They got complaints of the same by selling government jobs, and these are details that have been mentioned in the ED.
The enforcement directorate says that most of these properties have been bought from the proceeds of crime. They suspect that this was the money that was basically being round-tripped. Money was actually taken. In lieu of that, posts were actually given. Yes.
They are saying that they are ready to work anywhere except in the Kashmir Valley.
Congress in prayer, taking their MLAs to Raipur.
Opposition parties have been demanding that there should be justice.
Top stories at 10:30 a.m. Amidst mega backlash, officials say Kejriwal government likely to roll back the liquor policy now. BJP hits out at the Aam Aadmi Party government over policy rollback decision. Asks, did CBI probe compel Kejriwal to go back on the policy? And high drama ensues in Punjab. Minister questions VC over untidy beds. Upset with the insult, VC steps down. And it's a mega crackdown on the terror in the valley. One terrorist gunned down in Baramulla ops, one still trapped. More trouble mounts for sacked TMC Minister Partha Chatterjee. Aides Manik and Sukanta summoned by the ED now. Following the mega cash hauls back-to-back summons, TMC swings into huddle. Abhishek Banerjee to chair the key meeting today. Hello and welcome viewers. Thank you for tuning into Republic TV. I'm Priyanka Sharma. We are live in breaking and getting you the biggest update now from Mangaluru, where a development in the Mangaluru murder is actually taking place, where 21 suspected detained for questioning by Mangaluru police is what we're learning. In connection with the Fazal murder case is the recent development that we are tracking for you. Now, this is a massive development when it comes to the Mangaluru murder case that is being probed by the authorities right now. And as of now, the latest that we are getting for you is that 21 suspect detained for questioning by the Mangaluru police in connection with the Fazal murder case. And all of these 21 suspects, in fact, will be questioned. They will be probed. There will be an in-depth investigation that will be carried out by the authorities is the latest development that we are getting for you.
The senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police, including the SP rank officers, they are now leading this cavalcade to the house of this braveheart that is in Hoshiarpur's Jinder Mahlu, and this is the photo of the braveheart Flight Lieutenant Advait Bal, who attained martyrdom day before yesterday, and now the floral tributes have been paid by the security forces, by the Indian Army, Air Force, Jammu and Kashmir Police to this braveheart, and this is the last journey of this braveheart who didn't care for his life but made sure that the crashed MiG-21 didn't land in the civilian areas. The family members are in grief. They have lost their dear one. The brother of Advait Bal, he is into tears. This brave heart has left many memories for the family. This brave heart, when they narrate the story, it's always heart-wrenching to hear how they spoke to him day before yesterday. परसों जो है उनकी मम्मी की उनसे बात हुई थी, आखिर क्या बताया था उन्होंने लास्ट में जब फ़ोन को लेकर बात हुई?
नया फ़ोन लिया तो उससे बात कर रहा था.
The family members are not even in condition to speak. They will start a rally from here. The villagers too have gathered, and a march from the Air Force Station Jammu to the to the Hoshiarpur's Jinder Mahlu village, that is the native village of this braveheart, will now start. And entire Jammu and Kashmir is paying tribute to this braveheart, the braveheart who has made the supreme sacrifice for the country. Yes.
All right, Gursimran there on the ground getting us the recent as far as this heart-wrenching entire is concerned, where in fact the mortal remains of the MiG pilots in fact also being brought out, and for the last rites that are being carried out right now. Gursimran once again joins me on the broadcast. Gursimran, you tried to speak to the family members of these bravehearts as well. Inconsolable as of now, but take us through the pictures that we are seeing right now on our screens of these last rites being conducted.
See, the last drive of this braveheart, the flight Lieutenant Advitya Bal has left for his native village, that is Jinder Mahlu in Hoshiarpur, wherein the last rites will be performed. It will take 45 minutes time for the family, for the mortal remains to reach his native house, wherein the rituals will be performed, followed by the last tribute that will be given. Yes.
Well, of course, we are tracking the last drive, as Gursimran was pointing out, of the brave hearts, in fact, who've lost their lives in that unfortunate crash that took place of the MiG-21 Bison aircraft of the Indian Air Force in Rajasthan, in Barmer on Thursday, is what we were tracking for you viewers. And now, of course, the brave hearts, the mortal remains of the brave hearts being sent for their last rites as well. We will be tracking those very heartbreaking images, and we have our correspondents on the ground, in fact, who have been getting you the voices of the family members. Although right now we had just seen the Gursimran trying to speak to the family members, and they had been completely inconsolable. They had no words to speak when it comes to their sons that they have lost in this unfortunate crash. And these are the pictures of the last drive of those brave hearts who have lost their lives in this crash that took place in Barmer of the MiG-21 Bison aircraft. Top stories from across the country now, viewers. In a mega boost to power sector, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the revamped distribution sector scheme, and the National Solar Rooftop Portal will also be launched, and various other green energy projects will be launched, and foundation stone will be laid for a few others today. In a big charge, in fact, by the BJP, Kirit Somaiya has now alleged that the Congress leader Aslam Sheikh is involved in the unauthorized construction, and complaint against the leader has been filed with the ED and Mumbai police. Aslam Sheikh was in fact a senior Congress minister of the MVA government.
Aslam Sheikh, a senior Congress minister in MVA government, found involved in unauthorized construction of more than 24 film studios on the seashore in CR, no development zone.
Dr. Raj Bahadur resigned as the Vice Chairman of the Baba Farid University of Health Sciences after Punjab Health Minister's rude behaviour. This comes after Punjab Health Minister Chetan Singh asked Dr. Bahadur to lie on a dirty patient's bed, further demanding an explanation from the VC for not having clean mattresses at the hospital. Following the brutal murder of Fazil in Karnataka's Mangaluru, Section 144 continues in the area for the second day. Additionally, a peacekeeping meeting has been also organized at the Deputy Commissioner's office with the community leaders. Incessant rains across the Dakshina Kannada has left many low-lying areas in Mangaluru and other parts of the district waterlogged. Among the areas affected because of waterlogging in the city included Keleppu, Patla, Kotikar and several temples as well off the National Highway of 66. An incessant rainfall continues to lash several parts of the country. National Highway 58 has been closed due to debris and boulders coming from the hills near Srinagar, and rescue and clearance operations are now underway.
Mangaluru police have detained close to 21 people in connection with a Fazil murder case, and probably many of them might have included in the conspiracy of this particular murder. For more updates on the investigation of Praveen as well as Fazil's murder, Keep watching Republic TV after a short commercial break.
আমাকে শক্তি দাও, আমাকে শক্তি দাও, আমি পারছি না, আমি পারছি না, আমি পারছি না।
Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती। इसको रोको यार, तुम हमें ये क्या बदतमीजी है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters.
Police vans have also come in right now just to give the security to the BJP legislators right now as they are staying here for a while before the government formation actually takes place. About 17 locations where these searches are being carried out. In all likelihood, the number is going to go up. There could be some arrests. Total of 8 CCTV footages that have been accessed. This encapsulates Kohler's murder that has taken place.
On the live coverage on Republic TV as we report from outside Raj Thakre's residence. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers showing their support to Uddhav Thakre. The NCP huddle has begun. We're keeping a close track on all the senior leaders coming in and going out.
Looted money.
Welcome back, viewers. In fact, we are coming across with some breaking updates from Mangaluru murder case. It is a big development that we are tracking for you. We are learning that 21 suspects have been detained for questioning by the Mangaluru police in connection with the Mohammed Fazil's murder that was being probed by the authorities. In fact, remember we had seen Fazil, how he had been hacked to death by these suspected members of a gang as well. Sagar Raj joins me on the broadcast with more updates as far as the investigation is also concerned. Sagaraj, walk us through the details of these 21 suspects that have now been taken into custody by the police officials. Questioning as of now is being carried out. We had seen that during the course of the event when Fazil had been murdered, there were people who had been chasing him with machetes. So are these suspected accused, in fact, are the ones who had been at the scene carrying out this murder?
See, yesterday when the ADGP of Law and Order, Alok Kumar, spoke to the media, he went on to say that they have the details of the car used by the perpetrators. And that might be one of the important things in the entire investigation. Keeping that particular car number and the details, police might have got enough evidence to nab these suspects. So as of now, these are under detention. And what we also get to learn through our sources is that out of 21 suspects who have been detained by the police, probably by end of the day, there might be some of the other announcement from the police about the arrest. So once they make an announcement of arrest, they might impose sections prevailing to that. So as of now, police have cleared the air and said that they have detained 21 people in connection with Fazil murder and they are questioning them to gather more information. Remember, there was a special team which was also formed and which was investigating in this particular case. So we need to wait and watch an update from the police about the arrest, whether out of 21, they might arrest few people who are involved in this case, or there might be more people who is yet to be detained by the police on this similar case.
Well, Sagiraj, but we have seen that the Mangaluru police commissioner, in fact, had also said that they're trying to ascertain as to why this kind of an attack had taken place. He had also said that they will be questioning the eyewitnesses, their statements will be recorded. So any hint of what has really led to this kind of a gruesome attack on Fazil that has come to light during the course of the investigation, Sagar?
See, there are several theories which is doing rounds on social media as well as messengers, which is causing a major worry for the police. Even for that, the police have given a clarification that unless police doesn't conclude with the investigation, people should not come out with any kind of rumors which might cause some kind of tension in the society, some kind of communal tension in the society. So keeping all these things in the mind, police have not revealed anything. And what we also get to learn is that once the police confirm the arrest, and they might address a press conference and reveal what might be the reason behind this particular murder. As of now, police claims that the investigation is still on and they are questioning these 21 suspects who have been detained. Meanwhile, the Deputy Commissioner of Dakshin Kannada District, Rajendran, has called for a peace meeting between two community leaders as well as priests in his office, where he will be chairing a meeting and he will be discussing amongst the leaders to maintain law and order in the city, because of late these two murders of Praveen as well as of Faisal have created a lot of tension in the city, and there is also 145 section which has been imposed, and all the shops in the Mangaluru city and Dakshin Kannada has been asked to shut down post 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to next morning, all the shops will be shut down due to these kind of incident in the Mangaluru city.
Raj, thank you for joining us on the broadcast, getting us the details of the entire investigation. And of course, viewers, we are keeping a tab on what's really happening with respect to Mohammad Fazil, the 23-year-old businessman who had been chased by members of a gang.
किरण जी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑनरेबल जजेस, हमारे साथी राज्य मंत्री श्रीमान एसपी बघेल जी, हाई कोर्ट के ऑनरेबल जजेस, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी के चेयरमैन और सेक्रेटरीज, सभी सम्माननीय अतिथिगण, देवी और सज्जनों, भारत की न्याय व्यवस्था का नेतृत्व कर रहे आप सभी के बीच आना हमेशा एक सुखद अनुभव होता है, लेकिन बोलना जरा कठिन होता है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी के चेयरमैन और सेक्रेटरीज की ये इस तरह की पहली नेशनल मीटिंग है, और मैं मानता हूं कि एक अच्छी शुभ शुरुआत है, मतलब ये आगे भी चलेगा। आपने इस तरह के आयोजन के लिए जो समय चुना है, ये समय भी सटीक भी है और ऐतिहासिक दृष्टि से महत्वपूर्ण भी है। आज से कुछ ही दिन बाद देश अपनी आजादी के 75 साल पूरे कर रहा है। ये समय हमारी आजादी के अमृतकाल का समय है। ये समय उन संकल्पों का है जो अगले 25 वर्षों में देश को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाएंगे। देश की इस अमृत यात्रा में ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस और ईज ऑफ लिविंग की तरफ ईज ऑफ जस्टिस भी उतना ही जरूरी है। नेशनल लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी और सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटीज
इसमें बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभा सकते हैं। इस आयोजन के लिए विशेष करके ललित जी को और आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाई भी देता हूं, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। हमारे यहां न्याय की संकल्पना में कहा गया है, अंगेन गात्रम नयने वक्त्रम न्यायेन राज्यम लवणेन भोज्यम, अर्थात जैसे विभिन्न अंगों से शरीर की, आंखों से चेहरे की और नमक से खाने की सार्थकता पूरी होती है, वैसे ही देश के लिए न्याय भी उतना ही महत्वपूर्ण है। आप सब यहां संविधान के एक्सपर्ट्स और जानकार हैं। हमारे संविधान का आर्टिकल 39A, जो कि डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी के अंतर्गत आता है, उसने लीगल एड को बहुत प्राथमिकता दी है। इसका महत्व हम देश में लोगों के भरोसे से देख सकते हैं। हमारे यहां सामान्य से सामान्य मानवी को ये विश्वास होता है कि अगर कोई नहीं सुनेगा तो अदालत के दरवाजे खुले हैं। न्याय का ये भरोसा हर देशवासी को ये एहसास दिलाता है कि देश की व्यवस्थाएं उसके अधिकारों की रक्षा कर रही हैं। इसी सोच के साथ देश ने नेशनल लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी, इसकी स्थापना भी की ताकि कमजोर से कमजोर व्यक्ति को भी न्याय का अधिकार मिल सके। विशेष रूप से हमारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटीज हमारे लीगल एड सिस्टम के बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स की तरह है। साथियों, आप सभी जानते हैं कि किसी भी समाज के लिए जुडिशियल सिस्टम का एक्सेस जितना जरूरी है, उतना ही जरूरी जस्टिस डिलीवरी भी है। इसमें एक अहम योगदान जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का भी होता है। पिछले 8 वर्षों में देश के जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को मजबूत करने के लिए तेज गति से काम हुआ है। जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को आधुनिक बनाने के लिए 9,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए जा रहे हैं। देश में कोर्ट हॉल्स की संख्या भी बढ़ी है। जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण में ये तेजी जस्टिस डिलीवरी को भी स्पीड अप करेगी। साथियों, दुनिया एक अभूतपूर्व डिजिटल रिवॉल्यूशन की साक्षी बन रही है और भारत इस रिवॉल्यूशन का प्रमुख केंद्र बनकर उभरा है। कुछ साल पहले देश जब भीम यूपीआई और डिजिटल पेमेंट्स की शुरुआत कर रहा था, तो कुछ लोगों को लगता था कि ये छोटे से क्षेत्र तक सीमित रहेगा। लेकिन आज हम गांव-गांव में डिजिटल पेमेंट होते देख रहे हैं। आज पूरी दुनिया में जितने रियल टाइम डिजिटल पेमेंट्स हो रहे हैं, उसमें दुनिया में उसमें 40% अकेले भारत में हो रहे हैं। रेहड़ी पटरी और ठेले वाले लोगों से लेकर गांव गरीब तक डिजिटल पेमेंट अब हर व्यक्ति के लिए सहज दिनचर्या का हिस्सा बन रहा है। जब देश में इनोवेशन और एडेप्टेशन की इतनी स्वाभाविक क्षमता हो, तो जस्टिस डिलीवरी में टेक्नोलॉजी के इस्तेमाल के लिए इससे बेहतर समय नहीं हो सकता है। मुझे खुशी है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्देशन में देश की न्याय व्यवस्था इस दिशा में तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही है। ई कोर्ट मिशन के तहत देश में वर्चुअल कोर्ट शुरू की जा रही है। ट्रैफिक वायोलेशन जैसे अपराधों के लिए 24 घंटे चलने वाली कोर्ट से काम करना शुरू कर दिया है। लोगों की सुविधा के लिए कोर्ट्स में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का विस्तार भी किया जा रहा है। मुझे बताया गया है कि देश में डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स में अब तक 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा केसेस की सुनवाई वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के जरिए हो चुकी है। करीब करीब 60 लाख केस हाई कोर्ट्स और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी सुने गए हैं। कोरोना के समय हमने जिस विकल्प के तौर पर अड़ग किया वो अब व्यवस्था का हिस्सा बन रहा है। इस बात का प्रमाण है कि हमारी न्याय व्यवस्था न्याय के प्राचीन भारतीय मूल्यों के लिए भी प्रतिबद्ध है और 21वीं सदी की रियलिटीज के साथ मैच करने के लिए भी तैयार है। इसका श्रेय आप सभी महानुभावों को जाता है। मैं आप सभी के इस प्रयासों की सराहना करता हूं। साथियों, सामान्य मानवीय तक जस्टिस डिलीवरी के लिए नेशनल लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटी और सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटीज को भी टेक्नोलॉजी की इस ताकत का अधिक से अधिक इस्तेमाल करना होगा। एक आम नागरिक संविधान में अपने अधिकारों से परिचित हो, अपने कर्तव्यों से परिचित हो, उसे अपने संविधान और संवैधानिक संरचनाओं की जानकारी हो, रूल्स और रेमेडीज इसकी जानकारी हो। इसमें भी टेक्नोलॉजी एक बड़ी भूमिका निभा सकती है। पिछले साल आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति जी ने लीगल लिटरेसी और अवेयरनेस के लिए पान इंडिया आउटरीच कैंपेन लॉन्च किया था। इसमें डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटीज ने बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाई थी। इसके पहले 2017 में प्रो बोनो लीगल सर्विस प्रोग्राम भी लॉन्च किया गया था। इसमें मोबाइल और वेब एप्स के जरिए लीगल सर्विसेज को आम लोगों के लिए एक्सपांड किया गया था। इस तरह के प्रयासों में अभी अथॉरिटीज एक कदम और आगे बढ़कर नेक्स्ट जेन टेक्नोलॉजीज का इस्तेमाल करेगी तो जनता का और हित होगा। साथियों, आजादी के 75 साल का ये समय हमारे लिए कर्तव्य काल का समय है। हमें ऐसे सभी क्षेत्रों पर काम करना होगा जो अभी तक उपेक्षित रहे हैं। देश में अंडर ट्रायल कैदियों से जुड़े मानवीय विषय पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा पहले भी कई बार संवेदनशीलता दिखाई गई है। ऐसे कितने ही कैदी हैं जो कानूनी सहायता के इंतजार में वर्षों से जेलों में बंद है। हमारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल सर्विस अथॉरिटीज इन कैदियों को कानूनी सहायता देने का जिम्मा उठा सकती है। आज यहां देश भर से डिस्ट्रिक्ट जजेज आए हैं। मेरा उनसे आग्रह है कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल अंडर ट्रायल रिव्यू कमेटी के चेयरमैन होने के नाते अंडर ट्रायल कैदियों की रिहाई में तेजी लाएं। वैसे मुझे बताया गया है कि नालसा ने इस दिशा में कैंपेन भी शुरू कर दिया है। मैं इसके लिए आपको बधाई देता हूं, आप सबको बधाई देता हूं और अपेक्षा करता हूं कि आप लीगल एड के जरिए इस अभियान को सफल बनाएंगे। मैं बार काउंसिल से भी आग्रह करूंगा कि इस अभियान से ज्यादा लॉयर्स को जुड़ने के लिए प्रेरित करें। साथियों, मुझे आशा है हम सभी के प्रयास इस अमृतकाल में देश के संकल्पों को नई दिशा देंगे। इसी विश्वास के साथ मुझे आपके बीच आने का अवसर मिला, इसके लिए भी मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं और मुझे विश्वास है कि 2 दिन का ये आपका मंथन जिन अपेक्षाओं और आशाओं के साथ इतना बड़ा समारोह हो रहा है, उतने ही बड़े परिणाम लाएगा, इसी अपेक्षा के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत आभार माननीय प्रधान।
He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the cameras? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
Me and my Vijay are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos. In fact, massive security thrown around.
Big push diplomatic visit, which is going to be, of course, capped by the Quad leaders meets. Uddhav surrounded himself with unelectable coterie. You expect these people to dictate terms to a grassroots strong leader like Eknath Shinde?
আমাকে আমাকে শক্তি দাও, আমি পারছি না, আমি পারছি না, আমি পারছি না।
Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती। इसको रोको यार, तुम हमें इधर से ये क्या बदतमीजी है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters.
Police vans have also come in right now just to give the security to the BJP legislators right now as they are staying here for a while before the government formation actually takes place. About 17 locations where these searches are being carried out. In all likelihood, the number is going to go up. There could be some arrests. Total of 8 CCTV footages that have been accessed. Republic News Network is the only network to get you an aerial view.
सोनिया गांधी से ईडी पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती। इसको रोको यार, तुम हमें इधर से ये क्या बदतमीजी है?
Chandigarh police has applied the water cannon to disperse the protesters.
The headlines at this hour amidst mega backlash. Officials say Kejriwal government likely to roll back liquor policy now. BJP hits out at Aam Aadmi Party government over policy rollback decision. Asks, did CBI probe compel Kejriwal to go back on the policy? High drama ensues in Punjab. Minister questions VC over untidy beds. Upset with insult, Vice Chancellor steps down. Mega crackdown on terror in the valley. One terrorist gunned down in Baramulla. One still trapped in the operation. More trouble for sacked TMC Minister Partho. Aides Manik and Sukanto summoned by ED now. Following mega cash hauls and back-to-back summons, TMC swings into a huddle. Abhishek Banerjee to chair key meetings of the party today.
से 40%, 50% कम रेट आएगा। उतने पैसे सरकार को बचने चाहिए, मगर उन्होंने रेट फिक्स कर दिया 10 करोड़ रुपया। कल एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दूसरा एक हमारी जीत हुई है, पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत हुई है, कार्यकर्ताओं की जीत हुई है कि हमें ये दुख था और हमें गुस्सा था कि जब देश में कोरोना की सेकंड
वेव चल रही थी, दिल्ली में 23,000 लोग मर गए। उस समय दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री और दिल्ली का उप मुख्यमंत्री अपने कमरे में बैठकर नई एक्साइज पॉलिसी बना रहे थे कि घरों में फ्री होम डिलीवरी शराब की कैसी हो, हमारा रेवेन्यू कैसे बढ़े, 4-5 बिजनेसमैन को कैसे फायदा हो, 300 करोड़ के जोन कैसे बांटे जाएं। ये सोच रहे हैं। दिल्ली की जनता कह रही है हमें ऑक्सीजन दे दो, हमारा बाप मर रहा है, हमारी माँ मर रही है, हमारा बेटा मर रहा है, हमें ऑक्सीजन दे दो, हमें कोई है हॉस्पिटल बना दो, हमें भर्ती करा दो, जो भारत सरकार ऑक्सीजन दे रही है उसके लिए ट्रक खरीद लो। मगर मुख्यमंत्री उप मुख्यमंत्री नई शराब की पॉलिसी बनाने में व्यस्त थे। उसी महीने में जो पिछले साल का मई और जून का महीना था, जब लोग मर रहे थे, लाशें का ढेर लग रहा था, शमशान घाट में जगह नहीं थी जलाने के लिए, उस समय दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री केजरीवाल वो शराब।
और ये नकली शराब से मौत का पहला मामला नहीं है। ये लोग कहते हैं हमने गुजरात में शराब बंदी कर रखी है, लेकिन हर दूसरे तीसरे साल ऐसे मामले आते हैं जहां लोग जहरीली शराब पी के मर रहे हैं। और फिर जब पड़ताल होती है, मीडिया पड़ताल होती है, तो पता चलता है कि इन्हीं के लोग वहां शराब बेचने और बनाने में शामिल थे। जहरीली शराब पी के लोगों की जान जा रही है, लेकिन जहरीली शराब बेचने का, नकली गैरकानूनी तरीके से शराब बेचने का इनका धंधा दिन दूनी रात चौगनी तरक्की कर रहा है। ये मॉडल इन्होंने गुजरात में लागू कर रखा है। दूसरा है दिल्ली में लागू मॉडल। दिल्ली में हमारी सरकार पिछले साल एक नई एक्साइज पॉलिसी लेके आई, एक्साइज पॉलिसी 2021-22। 2021-22 की पॉलिसी लागू होने से पहले दिल्ली में सरकारी दुकानें थीं, ज़्यादातर सरकारी दुकानें थीं। सरकारी दुकानों के जरिए दिल्ली में शराब बिकती थी और खूब भ्रष्टाचार होता था उसमें, ब्रांड पुशिंग से लेके और कई तरीके की खबरें आती थीं। मैंने खुद रेड कर करके भ्रष्टाचार पकड़ा था वहाँ पे। हमने उस पॉलिसी को ख़त्म करके एक नई पॉलिसी बनाई। दिल्ली में पहले कुछ दुकानें प्राइवेट भी होती थी, लेकिन जो प्राइवेट दुकानें थीं वो इन्होंने अपने ही यारों दोस्तों के नाम पे लाइसेंस दे रखे थे और उनसे लाइसेंस फीस भी कम लेते थे, बहुत कम लाइसेंस फीस लेते थे और कई साल से लाइसेंस फीस भी नहीं बढ़ाई थी इन्होंने। तो ये सिस्टम खत्म करके ज़्यादातर सरकारी दुकानों का, जिनमें खूब भ्रष्टाचार था, और इनके नेताओं, रिश्तेदारों, इन सबकी ड्राइवर और मेड के नाम पे चलती दुकानों को, इन सबको, सारे सिस्टम को बंद करके हमने नई पॉलिसी लगाई और बहुत पारदर्शी तरीके से हमने यहाँ पर शराब की दुकानों की नीलामी की। पहले, यहाँ आपकी जानकारी के लिए मैं बता दूं कि पहले दिल्ली में 850 दुकानें होती थी। नई पॉलिसी में हमने तय किया कि जितनी दुकानें पहले होती थी उससे एक भी दुकान फालतू नहीं खोली जाएगी, वही 850 दुकानें रहेंगी। पहले इन दुकानों से सरकार को करीब 6,000 करोड़ रुपए का रेवेन्यू मिलता था शराब पॉलिसी में। जब पारदर्शी तरीके से इन दुकानों की नीलामी हुई तो दुकानें नहीं बढ़ी, लेकिन पूरे साल में, एक फुल ईयर में 850 दुकानों से 9,500 करोड़ रुपए का रेवेन्यू आना था। इस हद तक ऑक्शन गया हमारा, 6,000 करोड़ की जगह 9,500 करोड़ रुपए। तो इस तरह एक साल में नई पॉलिसी के तहत सरकार की आय 1.5 गुने से ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती, करप्शन खत्म हो जाता। लेकिन नई पॉलिसी आने से इन लोगों ने जो भ्रष्टाचार मचा रखा था वो रुक गया, वो खत्म हो गया। तो इन लोगों ने पूरा प्लान बनाया कि इस नई पॉलिसी को फेल किया जाए। एक एक करके इन्होंने जितने प्राइवेट दुकान वाले आए थे उनको ईडी की धमकी दी, सीबीआई की धमकी दी। तो प्राइवेट दुकान चलाने वालों को, जो सरकार को ज़्यादा रेवेन्यू दे रहे थे, क्योंकि सरकार ने ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से उनको दुकानें दी थी ओपन ऑक्शन करके, तो उनको इन्होंने ईडी से धमकाया, सीबीआई से धमकाया। तो बहुत सारे शराब वाले तो, दुकान वाले तो बेचारे, कई सारे लोग तो दुकान छोड़ के चले गए। और आज दिल्ली में जो नई पॉलिसी में भी 850 दुकानें हो सकती थीं, आज दिल्ली में कुल 468 दुकानें चल रही हैं और 1 अगस्त से कई और दुकान वाले भी, क्योंकि ये सीबीआई से डरा रहे हैं, ईडी की धमकी दे रहे हैं दुकान वालों को, तो ये 468 दुकानों से भी और कम हो जाएंगी। कई और लोग दुकानें छोड़ के जाने वाले हैं। इनका मकसद है कि दिल्ली में शराब की किल्लत पैदा करो। इनका मकसद है कि दिल्ली में लीगल तरीके से बिकने वाली शराब का क्वांटम कम करते चले जाओ। अब मैं आपके सामने एक थोड़ा सा और डेटा रखना चाहता हूं कि दिल्ली में और बाकी राज्यों में शराब की बिक्री की, शराब की दुकानों की पर कैपिटा संख्या क्या है, उसका एक डेटा है। गुड़गांव में जहां बीजेपी का शासन है, 4166 लोगों पे शराब की एक दुकान है। नोएडा में जहां बीजेपी का शासन है, 1390 लोगों पे शराब की एक दुकान है। बेंगलोर में जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है, 12,179 लोगों पर एक दुकान है। बीजेपी का गोवा है, गोवा में 761 लोगों पे एक दुकान है। नई पॉलिसी के तहत अगर दिल्ली में मैक्सिमम दुकानें भी खुल जाती तो उसके बावजूद 850 दुकानें भी खुल जाती तो यहां 22,707 लोगों पे एक दुकान होती। और आज जब 468 दुकानें हैं तो 41,192 लोगों पे एक दुकान है। इसी से अंदाज़ा लगाया जा सकता है कि ये ईडी की धमकी देके, सीबीआई की धमकी देके चाहते हैं कि लीगल शराब का धंधा यहाँ भी बंद हो और इलीगल धंधे को बढ़ावा मिले, नॉन ड्यूटी पेड धंधे को बढ़ावा मिले, स्पिरिट लिकर को बढ़ावा मिले। ये इनका पुराना धंधा था, ये वापस उस धंधे को लाना चाहते हैं। अगर दिल्ली में लाइसेंस शुदा दुकानों की कमी होती है, अगर वैध तरीके से उपलब्ध शराब की कमी होती है तो नकली शराब का कारोबार बढ़ता है, वो इनको फ़ायदा देता है। इसीलिए इन्होंने ईडी और सीबीआई की धमकी दे दे के दिल्ली सरकार के अफसरों को भी इतना डरा दिया है कि अब जो दुकानें खाली हो रही हैं उनका कोई लाइसेंस करने को तैयार नहीं है। दुकानें जैसा मैंने बोला बहुत सारी खाली हुई, और भी होंगी, लेकिन इन्होंने ईडी और सीबीआई की धमकी दे दे के अफसरों को इतना डरा दिया है कि अब कोई जो दुकानें खाली हो रही हैं उनका ठेका देने को, उनका ऑक्शन करने को, उनका टेंडर करने को तैयार नहीं है, उनकी नीलामी करने को तैयार नहीं है। और जो एग्जिस्टिंग पॉलिसी है, जो 2021-22 की पॉलिसी है, वो 31 जुलाई को अब खत्म हो रही है। डर के मारे कोई ऑफिसर इस पॉलिसी को भी आगे बढ़ाने को तैयार नहीं है। इन्होंने पूरी सीबीआई की धमकी दे रखी है, सबको ईडी की धमकी दे रखी है। तो कुल मिला के इन्होंने दुकान वालों को डरा के और अफसरों को डरा के दिल्ली में ऐसे हालात बनाने की कोशिश की है जिससे 1 अगस्त से दिल्ली में एक्साइज ड्यूटी देने वाली दुकानें कम से कम होती चली जाएं और इससे इनका अवैध शराब का धंधा फिर से यहाँ पे फलने फूलने लगे। क्योंकि 1 अगस्त के बाद अगर सरकार निर्णय नहीं लेगी तो कोई पॉलिसी यहाँ पे कोई पॉलिसी नहीं होगी, ये लोग चाहते थे। और अगर दिल्ली में वैध शराब की जानबूझ के कमी कर दी गई तो इसके बाद ये लोग गुजरात की तरीके से यहाँ भी धड़ल्ले से नकली शराब बेचना चाहते हैं। दिल्ली में भी फिर हमें बहुत दुख है, लेकिन दिल्ली में भी अगर ऐसा होता है तो नकली शराब बिकती है तो कोई बड़ी चीज़ नहीं है। जैसे जहाँ जहाँ नकली शराब बिकती है वहाँ फिर जहरीली शराब पी के लोगों की मौत होती है, हुश ट्रेजेडी होती है। दिल्ली में भी होने लगेगी, लेकिन हम ये नहीं चाहते और ना हम ऐसा होने देंगे। इसलिए हमने तय किया कि फ़िलहाल जो नई पॉलिसी है उसको बंद करके सरकारी दुकानें खोलने के आदेश हमने दिए हैं, क्योंकि इन्होंने दुकानदारों को डरा रखा है, इन्होंने अफसरों को डरा रखा है। इसलिए नई पॉलिसी बंद करके सरकारी दुकानों के ज़रिए अब लीगल लिकर सेल करने का हमने ऑर्डर दिया है, ताकि दिल्ली में कोई इलीगल शराब ना बेच पाए, ताकि दिल्ली में कोई स्पिरिट शराब ना बेच पाए। और चीफ सेक्रेटरी को मैंने ऑर्डर किए हैं कि किसी भी कीमत पर वो सुनिश्चित करें कि सरकारी दुकानों के ज़रिए करप्शन ना हो और किसी तरह की इलीगल मार्केट शराब की दिल्ली में ना खड़ी हो। ये मैंने ऑर्डर किया।
लेकिन बीजेपी से इस तरह से पेश कर,
मैंने उसका रीज़न बताया आपको। ये लोग चाहते हैं कि अफसरों को इतना डरा दो और प्राइवेट दुकानदारों को इतना डरा दो कि उसके बाद में यहाँ से दुकानें बंद हो जाएं और इनका इलीगल दुकानों का धंधा, ये गुजरात की तरह से जैसे हज़ारों करोड़ का धंधा गुजरात में चला रहे हैं और लोग मर रहे हैं, ये चाहते हैं कि दिल्ली में भी ये हालात पैदा हों कि हज़ारों करोड़ का धंधा इनका यहाँ पे चले, नंबर 2 का, और नंबर 1 का धंधा शराब का बंद हो जाए।
सर तो क्या अब चेंजेस होंगे जब 1 तारीख से पुरानी लिकर पॉलिसी होगी, तो कितने शॉप्स होंगे, जो डिस्काउंट रेजिम चल रहा था, टैक्सेशन रेजिम और जो ड्राई डेज थे, क्या वो सब भी रिवर्स होगा?
हमने 2015 के बाद से ऑर्डर किया हुआ था कि दिल्ली में कोई नई शराब की दुकान नहीं बढ़ेगी, तो हमने 2015 से के बाद से दिल्ली में कोई नई शराब की दुकान नहीं बढ़ी। पुरानी पॉलिसी में जितनी दुकान थी उससे ज़्यादा नई में भी खोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। नहीं, मैंने अभी गवर्नमेंट शॉप्स खोलने के लिए ऑर्डर दिया।
सर दिल्ली में क्या इससे जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड चलेगा, शराब की कमी तो नहीं हो पाएगी जिससे कि घटनाएं?
नहीं, मैंने चीफ सेक्रेटरी को ऑर्डर दिए कि ट्रांजिशन पीरियड में किसी तरह का कोई कैओस ना हो। नहीं, अभी मैंने गवर्नमेंट की ओनली गवर्नमेंट।
कितनी है सर? हाउ मेनी नंबर विल बी देयर?
लेट द डिपार्टमेंट ओपन। हम it won't exceed 850, that we have made sure, but
also these shops, the governmental shops, they were closed down. Now they have been asked to submit details of the shops, how much of the shops are still there. So it's going to take at least a couple of days for this to come in order.
तो ये इसीलिए तो इनकी साजिश एक्सपोज कर रहा हूँ मैं।
कितने दिन का हमें मतलब वो गैप रहेगा for it to become functional?
तो डिपार्टमेंट will do as fast as possible।
सर नई पॉलिसी में जो अलग समान रूप से दुकानें खुली थी, जैसे पहले था कि एक वार्ड में 3 दुकानें, किसी वार्ड में नहीं है, तो
नहीं, अब तो वो पॉलिसी तो भी होल्ड पे हो गई ना।
सर ड्राई डेज और बाकी जो चेंजेस थे,
जो उम्र में बदलाव था,
वो सब आपके सामने आ जाएगा।
पॉलिसी गलत नहीं थी तो आप उस पर टिके क्यों नहीं और रिवर्सल की?
हम तो टिके हैं, लेकिन बीजेपी ने ईडी और सीबीआई की धमकी दे दे के जिस तरह से अफसरों को डरा दिया है कि वो अब इस पॉलिसी को आगे बढ़ाने को तैयार नहीं है। जो दुकान छोड़ के चले गए वो उनके ठेके देने को, नीलामी देने को तैयार नहीं है। प्राइवेट दुकानों को ये धमका रहे हैं कि छोड़ के चले जाओ, नहीं तो ईडी और सीबीआई में उठा के जेल भेज देंगे। तो वैसे में सरकार की जिम्मेदारी ये है कि यहाँ किसी तरह का कैओस ना हो।
सर एक अलग सवाल, लोकायुक्त में शिकायत,
मैंने खूब स्कूल बनवाए दिल्ली में, दिल्ली सरकार ने, और कितने शानदार स्कूल बने हैं वो आप भी देख रहे हैं। हमारा काम है स्कूल बनवाना, हमारा धर्म है स्कूल बनवाना, बच्चों को पढ़ाना, वो हम निभा रहे हैं। बीजेपी का फर्ज है, बीजेपी का धर्म अपना उन्होंने चुना है कि हम इस तरह की हरकतें करें, वो करते रहे। पहले भी इन्होंने खूब जांच कराई थी, इन्होंने स्कूल के मामले में भी जांच कराई, कई और एमएलएस की जांच कराई, सत्येंद्र जैन की जांच में भी कल आपने देखा कि किस तरह से ईडी को सुनाया कोर्ट ने। तो उन सब में आप देख लो, कुछ भी नहीं निकलेगा, सारी चीज़ें क्लीन निकलेंगी।
एक सवाल ये भी है कि जिन प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स ने मोटा पैसा लगाकर जो टेंडर लिया था, उनका क्या होगा? क्योंकि उन्होंने तो लीगल तरीके से टेंडर लिया था।
हाँ, लेकिन अब लीगल तरीके से उन्हीं को धमका रहे हैं ना, इलीगल तरीके से। थैंक यू।
Those are visuals of BJP chief JP Nadda at Patna airport. In a short while from now, he will, the BJP is beginning a program there called Pravas at Patna. BJP chief there being garlanded by various functionaries of the party in the Bihar capital. So, well, those are visuals from Patna airport. BJP chief JP Nadda arriving at the Bihar capital for the Pravas program that the BJP begins today. Being welcomed there, JP Nadda being welcomed by various functionaries and leaders of the party as he arrives at Patna airport for a special program that the BJP is likely to begin today. BJP chief JP Nadda for the conclave, for the BJP conclave ahead of the 2025 polls. That's what we are hearing. And being welcomed there warmly by various functionaries. A mega roadshow is being planned in the Bihar capital as well. And our senior correspondent Prakash is there with us. Prakash, we are seeing visuals of the BJP chief being warmly welcomed there at Patna airport. He's being met by top functionaries of the party there. Take us through what's happening.
Well, it's a 2-day program of the BJP, and it's called the Pravas Yatra in 200 assembly constituencies. And BJP is organizing this event and making it a mega event as far as the joint meeting of all the organizations and units of the BJP all across India. There will be, most of them would be staying in different districts of Bihar and spread across 200 assembly constituencies. Now, JP Nadda has arrived here in Patna, and he's been welcomed by all the important functionaries of the BJP. B.L. Santosh has also arrived early this morning, so has all the union ministers from Bihar and several other important national leaders of the BJP they have also landed in Patna to participate in the event. And as far as the program schedule is concerned, JP Nadda would be doing a road show in Patna, and in between there are 3 stoppages. He will be garlanding on the near the Ambedkar statue, and thereafter he will address a gathering and then go for the internal meeting of the BJP. So how important is this meeting is that as far as Bihar is concerned, it's a very important state in the run-up to the 2024 elections, and keeping in mind the fact that the JDU and the BJP are at loggerheads, the BJP wants to